There is more leverage to life than property leverage. Now, people in New Zealand seem to fixate on leverage when it comes to property. That's why I love property. Whenever there's any discussion around investing into other things, people are like, yeah, but you can't fucking use leverage, but property you can. I get it. I work in the space. I live and breathe business. I see people go and try to borrow for a business, for instance, or even shares, which you can actually borrow against shares, so you can use leverage with shares, but anyway, people will tell you can't. But the bank love property to then lend again, so I get it. But what I think has happened for Kiwi people is that you haven't learned what leverage actually is, or you've stopped your learning at property leverage, and it's simplistic and it's literally like the lowest form. Now, what I mean by this is that once you have, for those who don't understand leverage in a property, once you have equity in a property, so the asset minus the liability creates the equity, once you have that gap, you can go to the bank and say, hey, can I please borrow against this equity? And then people go get a rental property, for instance, and they're like, oh, leverage is so amazing. Well, let's look at this, okay? Now, if you rent a property out for $600 a week times 52 weeks, it's just over $30,000 worth of rental income over a year, right? Now, my life is very different to yours, but guess what? I'll probably make $100,000 this year doing speaking fees. That's way better fucking than a rental property, okay? And there ain't many costs with that too. I got to go deliver it, but I'm not leveraging property, I'm leveraging my skill set. Now, 2015, I found a tweet of mine where I'm asking, hey, does anybody know how you kind of get into the speaking world? And there's no engagement on it. It's now 2025, 10 years on, and I'll make 100 grand this year doing speaking engagements. That's like having 3 rental properties. Now, for me, what I learned was don't just focus on leverage and property and stop there. Actually understand what leverage is. So what is leverage? And I've got some notes here. But leverage is the strategic use of resources to amplify results with minimal additional effort. That's why everybody bangs on about leverage when it comes to property, because that's as far as they've learned. Oh, you can leverage your property to go and invest more. Now, I get it that not everyone can do the speaking, etc. But I'm just showing you how I learned to think deeper than just property leverage, like get a job or earn income and then like buy a property and then leverage that and keep going. And I'm not to say that I won't do that in time, but you don't just want to stop there. You want to understand leverage better. So leverage is the strategic use of resources to amplify results. So, your resources, what resources do you have? For me in this example, speaking. In business and wealth building, leverage means using something you already have, whether it's money, time, skills, or relationships to gain a greater return. Wicked. What do you have that you can get a better return on? What money, time, skills, or relationships do you have that you can use as leverage so you don't just get stuck at, oh, leverage means buying another fucking rental property. Okay, there's more to it. Many Kiwis think of leverage in terms of property, using borrowed money to invest in real estate, but there are many other forms of leverage that can create wealth and freedom. Now, I think there's leverage sitting in all of our garages. Go into your garage or your house and have a look at the things that you've purchased and think, how can I leverage those? Right here in front of me, I've got podcasting equipment. Now, this equipment probably costs like $1,500, maybe 5 years ago. But it's leverage. I can leverage that to build an audience, to add value, to advertise, to create skills. Now this year, I'll work with 12 businesses at, what is 12 times by 6 point, well, it's probably 7K. 12 lots of 7, I should actually just know that. $84,000. I'll make $84,000 leveraging my skills, consulting to businesses to help them improve their business. 84 grand. How many rental properties would I need to own to earn the 84 grand? Then of course now you can be like, oh, but they're actually leveraging the debt, their wealth's increasing. Cool, I get it. This is an example about thinking about leverage differently. If you just do the tried and true Kiwi path of buy a property, pay down some of the debt, leverage off that to get a rental, it's boring. Like, it's boring and it's simple, and there's more to life. There's faster ways that you can earn more income or build your wealth. So there's 12 businesses at 7 grand, 84 grand, and that's just another income stream that I have. But I don't have those income streams unless I invest into myself and actually get good at business, get good at teaching people business, get good at getting them results so that they do want to pay me, get good at marketing it, get good at building audiences to find those people to then add help to them. I've got to get good at speaking. 2015, no one replies to the tweet. I'm not getting paid to speak. I'm like, fuck, there's got to be a way. Yeah, it probably means getting out there, doing some speaking, and then getting invited to speak. And voila, 2025, because I did the investment into myself and to my skill set that I wanted to lean into, I'm going to get 100 grand paid to me via people saying, yes, can you come speak at this? Now, of course, I have an opportunity cost of time, so that means I've got to go there and do that. And what else could I be doing in that time? But, you know, it comes from me understanding, shit, there's more to life than just investing into leveraging property. You can invest into yourself as well. So have a think around the things that you have in your household that could start off, you know, to use as leverage to then build up some income. It could be a spade, it could be a water blaster as an example. I'm not saying that you just jump all the way to, you know, consulting businesses and also doing speaking engagements and things like that. But I always say skills pay the bills. But in New Zealand, we teach people, work harder, work longer to make more money. No, invest into your skills. And that's how you make more money. I invested into my speaking, I invested into coaching businesses, and now I can get paid more. Now, I only get paid by the market if I'm good enough as well. So you've actually got to be good at this shit. But think about, you know, like financial leverage as well. So, you know, property is the thing New Zealanders always talk about, but it could end up being buying a business for you in the future. And it might be vendor finance from the person looking to sell. We have a disproportionately older age group of business owners in New Zealand that are eventually going to have to sell those down. Skill leverage, develop high value skills and use them to create different income streams, just as I've spoken about. Audience leverage, as an example. You might say, well, I don't have an audience, so I don't want to go and build an audience. You might even have an audience already, like a Facebook friendship group, or just Facebook friends, or Instagram, or Snapchat, or whatever, and you go to them and you just say, hey, would you like me to help with X, Y, Z? Or, oh shit, all of my mates seem to be in business. What are they having problems with at the moment? Like hiring, or maybe it is like growing, or maybe you've got those skills, whether it's marketing for them or recruitment, and then you leverage that group of people and then you go and help them, you know, achieve what they're trying to achieve. And unless you understand this, you know, because it's weird that we talk so much around property leverage and teaching people about what leverage is when it comes to property. But who's brave enough to be like, oh, by the way, as an employee, you are the leverage. The employer is leveraging you and what your skills currently are in order to get closer to their goals, and they're going to pay you based on what the market expects or what you expect or what someone else will do it for. We don't really say that because people probably get pissy about it. But once that's the lesson, once you realize that's what's happening, you go, oh, fuck, well, I better make sure that I've got some high value skills so that if I'm going to be leveraged and I'm going to be the leverage that people are using, then I want to get paid well for it too. So you don't want to learn a low value skill when that your goals are bigger and you want to have more and you want to do more, and you're going to require more income, then you've got to get better at what it is that you are doing. And business owners are leveraging me to go speak at their conference to ensure that the people that are there get lessons, and then they go and use that information to then improve their business, and I'm the leverage. So it doesn't just mean that, you know, you employees are leveraged. Like, we all are in someone else's game. You know, business owners are paying me to consult to their business, and I'm the leverage. And then they take my lessons and my network and the things that I tell them to do, and they're like, great, I know what I need to do now. Bang. And they leverage off of me and my audience and my connections to go and get closer to what it is that they're trying to achieve. So once you start to understand how this stuff works, you think wider than just, oh, leverage is fucking investing in another rental property. Man, there's so many property rental channels. Go and like listen to their shit, and you only need to do a year of that learning to realize, like, oh, okay, there's a ceiling. There's a ceiling to it, and then you got to wait till your income increases, or wait for the property market to increase, and then you or go to the bank and say, now can I borrow more? And you get another, and you go again, and it's like, fuck, who can't figure that out? Like, seriously, you don't even need to do that much learning in that space to do it. But guess what? Guess what? The bit that slows you down in there, the growth of the house price, because you're not in control of it, the growth of the income of the rental property and your income. Well, if you're not in control of those, you're not going to be able to borrow more, so your leverage slows down. So what does it come back to? Well, if I want to increase my income so that I can borrow more, so do more property leverage, guess what you still need to get good at? Leveraging yourself to be more high value. But again, the property channels and shit, they're not going to talk about that. You know, because they're just like, oh no, we want you to just get to a point so it's nice and steady to then buy another rental. But have a think about it. Most of the people that are selling you like the property dream, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but you just have to, once you start thinking like this, you can see it more clearly. Most of them are fucking running businesses. They're all property investors telling you like, here's what you should be doing. And then they're like, oh, you know what? Now I need to start a business because this is too slow. Because they've figured this out too. And they're like, oh, well, I'll teach other people to do it and I'll charge them a fee. So now they're building businesses, and then you become the leverage again, and they're teaching you what to do. And it's much like I do in business, consulting to businesses, helping them grow and get closer to their goals. But the property people will figure this out, and they're like, yeah, well, this is slow and boring. What do I need to do? I need more cash flow. Business isn't it. It's actually, property's not it. It's going to have to be business. So then they come to you and say, we can teach you this shit. We're going to charge you. We'll do like whatever we need. Might even leverage off of your equity to then help you do a flip or whatever it may be. And then they charge you. And then they take that money, and what do they do with it? They put it back into their business by speeding up their income, which is increasing faster now, and then they can leverage off of you to then go back to the bank and go, right, my income's increasing, I've got more equity, I've got more wealth, now I can have another rental property. So even the people that are teaching you about leverage in terms of property are leveraging off of you so they can speed up their journey. So once you see this, then you get it, and you just go, oh, okay, fuck, it is what it is. And how are you going to play the game? But my lesson here is to think bigger than just, leverage is in a property. And that's all it is. There's more to it. Audience leverage, technology leverage, people leverage, network leverage. Think about recruiters, for instance. They're leveraging off, okay, who needs this person? Okay, I know that person. I can connect you up. 20 grand, thank you. Bang, done. 5 of those a year, you can make 100 grand. Shit, it's not as easy as that, but they've got to do the work to build up the network and actually get good at that. 100 grand is like top 15% income. I think roughly 15% of working people in New Zealand earn over 100K, but it's like finding 5 employees in some of the corporate roles. So, that's a high paying skill. Media leverage, time leverage. There's even people that get into like government and politics and like getting cozy with governments and whatnot. So then they've got like leverage around that. So many Kiwis fixate on property as the primary way to get ahead, but there are other forms of leverage that can be just as powerful, if not more powerful, sometimes even more so, since they don't require a huge amount of investment. But I do think that these things, getting good at something, does require you to spend some time and invest into it. But too many people focus on like, oh, okay, I'm just going to learn about property leverage and that's it, and then I'm just going to stop. No, like have a think about how you could use your neighborhood and leverage that to like make some more money if that's what you want to do. Because it all comes back to that if you've got big goals and you want to speed them up, it normally comes back to increasing your income and becoming more valuable in order to do that. So that really changed my life when I learned about that and then figured out, okay, what things can I invest into myself? And it might be over a 10-year decade. Like people talk about, oh, property doubles every 10 years and then you can use even more leverage. Fuck, like all of the properties are doubling every 10 years. And if you're doing nothing in the middle of that, you've wasted 10 years. You've just built wealth on paper and everything's got more expensive around you. Don't fucking waste the 10 years. Invest into yourself. You need to become twice as valuable. You need to become 4 or 5 times more valuable. In 2015, no one was paying me to speak. In 2025, I'll make well over 100 grand doing it. I hope that helps you understand leverage to a different degree than what you normally get taught about it in New Zealand, because you're really valuable. You've got heaps of skills and there's things that you can be doing too, but you've fried your brain. You've got property brain. If you're just stuck thinking like leverage is just property, there's more to it than that, and you can understand it and you can use it as well, and you can grow faster than you knew is possible. But first you actually have to put some deliberate effort into making it happen.